everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you how I set up my client portal. I just made some updates to the layout and added a few things, so I thought it'd be nice to kind of show you guys how that looks, as well as give you guys some inspiration for things to add if you guys also use client boards. So I started using client boards last year, and I find it a very good way to keep all of your client communication streamlined, as well as keep all the details of the project in one place. I used to be flipping back and forth through emails with clients just to get some details, and I would find that I would just get a lot of things lost in email, and it would be very frustrating to just have to go back through threads and threads of emails just to find one thing, especially if you forgot to take notes about something. So this is a lot more easier to organize everything, split all your communication into different cards, and keep everybody on the same page. So the first list here, we have all of the studio information. So here's where I'll just have details about the studio. So my name and email, as well as office hours. And within that card, I'll also put any type of updates when it comes to being out of office and things like that. I do work full time on top of running the studio. So it is important for me to let my clients know when I'm actually available to take any impromptu calls, as well as respond to any emails that are urgent. And then the last card in this list is going to be how to use the client portal. So I kind of give my clients an explanation of the labels, how to add comments, how to add questions, how to add their own cards, and things like that. Here we have our project admin list. So this will just have all the details about the back end of the project and things like that. So coming here, the first card, we have our project scope and timeline. So clicking on that card, I'll just have an overview of the scope and the timeline so clients know what to expect each week. And this is updated based on the client's scope of work. So depending on what we agree on, I'll be updating this as we go. Next is the terms of service contract. So here they'll just have a link to their terms of service contract. I do use Dubsado when it comes to my contracts and forms and invoices. So as I attach different invoices and contracts and forms to clients, I update the links throughout the board so that they can have access to them. And because I am using Dubsado, I do give them some Dubsado login information. So it'll just have their email and then the password that I'll be providing for them. So the next card here is going to be our invoice card. So here's where they'll be able to get a link to their invoice, as well as have a payment plan tracker. So all of my projects do come with a payment plan. There will be a 25% deposit, and then the remaining will be broken up into 3 different payments across the timeline of the project. And as we assign those payment due dates as well as payment amounts, I'll just come in here and add in those details, and then my clients are able to actually track when client payments are made and also see when payments are coming out. So the next list here is going to be a reminders list. So self-explanatory, this is just where I'll put up any type of important reminders for my clients. So such as calls, when payments are due, so if there's any action items that need immediate attention, all of those details will go under this list. So now the next several lists will be broken down into the different phases of my design process. So my design process is split up into 4 different phases. First is the onboarding phase, next is the discovery phase, and third is the design phase, and then as you'll see moving forward, the last phase will be the launch phase. So when it comes to labeling the cards, everything labeled in blue with client tasks are just tasks for the clients to complete, such as questionnaires, forms, homework, and things like that. Anything in pink with the meeting notes are just literally meeting notes for those meetings, and everything in orange in the drafts are just basically drafts and presentations for the clients to see. So this first list here is for onboarding, and this will just allow us to collect all information needed before we actually kick off the project. So it'll have links to their questionnaires that have been assigned to them, any client tasks, as well as meeting notes from the intro calls. So I started adding an intro call to allow clients to walk with me through the client board, see if they had any questions, and also talk to them about the upcoming tasks that they have to complete. So kind of a preview of how I set up the questionnaire cards and how I link those. So going into the brand questionnaire, for example, I'll have the link to the actual questionnaire here, and I'll also give them a due date of when it's due. I try to have these things due a couple weeks before the project to give me time to look through them all. And then I'll just have any type of comments necessary. So when it comes to the meeting note cards, how I set them up is by just having the duration of how long the meeting is going to be and a brief overview of what we're going to be talking about. And then as we actually schedule them, I'll put the link of the meeting within this card so that they can easily click on that. So the next card here is for the discovery phase. So this is where we will have everything to do with the foundations and strategy behind the project. So after going through all the questionnaires, we'll be having our kickoff call. We'll be kicking off the project, talking through all the questionnaires and things as such. And then I'll also have details about the initial creative direction based on their answers. And then we'll be developing that within here. The next several lists are going to be for the design phase. So this section is actually going to be customized depending on the scope of the client. So if they don't have web design, they won't have anything related to web design. If they don't have branding, they won't have anything related to branding. If they don't have add-ons, they won't have anything related to the add-ons. So depending on the scope of the project, I'll just be deleting any lists that aren't needed and things as such. So to give a quick overview of how this is set up, basically everything labeled draft is going to be where I will upload any presentations or drafts in relation to what that card is about. So for example, with the logo suite and visual identity, I'll be uploading all the drafts when it comes to that logo suite and visual identity to that card. And then clients are able to actually give direct feedback on that card and what they don't like, what they do like, and we can keep that communication about that specific piece in that one card. And something that I've added to my client board that I found really helpful that I got from Rach from her Standout Squarespace course was to have a web copy and assets list that will allow me to kind of help my clients break down the web copy. So sometimes clients don't come with web copy for their websites. So this will allow me to help them kind of develop the web copy, as well as if they already have web copy ready, they can go ahead and upload that here. I'm not a copywriter, so this definitely is a helpful way for my clients to be able to think through their pages, as well as upload any type of details that I would need when it comes to building websites. So the way that I organize this is that depending on whatever pages that they need for their web design project, I'll be adding any relevant cards that they'll need. So for example, homepage, about page, and then within each card, there'll be a place and instructions for them to upload any external copy, such as Word documents, to a Dropbox that I assign to them, or they can directly add them to the card too. So this also helps to keep the wording and copy organized in that sense as well. Also at the bottom of the list, there'll be a card that will allow them to upload any relevant brand photography or any extra things that they would want on the website. So that's the design phase. So now moving into the last three cards for the launch phase. So these last three lists here are for our launch phase. And during this phase, this is where we'll be getting our project prep to be sent off to the client. So this first list here is for our final selections, and as we go throughout the design phase, I like to add our final selections to this board here. It helps give the clients an actual visual of how the project is coming together, and it really is a great way to show how far along we've come within the project. So this second card here is actually a new card. So this is going to be a resources card for my clients. So as we go along our design process, if there's things that I find helpful that can help them along the way or help them in the future, I'll be adding it to their card. For example, right now I just have the website training session where I walk with them through their back end of the website and kind of give them a rundown of how to make edits and changes. And any other type of resources that I find helpful, I'll add them to this card. And last but not least, we have our offboarding list. So this is where we'll find all details when it comes to offboarding the clients. So for example, the first thing we have is our brand presentation, where I'll be sitting with my clients, presenting the brand to them and showing them all of our assets that we've created and talking them through the offboarding process. There'll also be a survey and feedback link so that they can fill out that form. And then the final thing in this list is just where they can collect all of their final files from Dropbox. And that is the end of my client board presentation. Hopefully you guys found this helpful and found some tips along the way to help you guys set up your own client boards. And like I said before, having a client board has really been a big game changer for both me and my clients, as we're able to streamline our communication and keep everything in one place. And I find that clients really enjoy the organization of it all. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions about the client board or anything about my setup, definitely let me know.